Botswana with a Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery. Ha ke hetsa ho be ke berekela goromente for some time. Me after that ke gone be ke simolla ke go dira dithuto tse di kopele tsa tsone di aesthetics. Me ke motho e leng gore I grew up with a number of issues in terms of my appearance. Ne ke tshwengwa ke letlalo thata, especially ke le a teenager, ke le mona younger than now. Ke ile ka tshwengwa gape le meno. I had to go to the dentist. I had braces. So who affected my confidence a lot growing up. And when I discovered this branch of medicine which helps with appearance, having that experience with my confidence, I felt like it's something that I would understand in terms of dealing with other people who have such issues. And I felt it was a fit for me gape because ke motho o ratang bokgarebe ke rata dilo tsa Emma, thank you. So yes, ke gone mo go heletseng go ira gore ke tse that path in terms of my medical career.
So most of it, Leon Helalo, was influenced by how you grew up and the things you're mostly interested in.
Exactly.
Okay. Yana ke kopa gore o re thuse hala jaana re tlhaloganya gore pharologanyo yone ya aesthetic medicine le ha re lebile jalo tsone di dermatologist ke eng? What's the difference between the two?
Emma, so we both deal with skin. But the main difference, I would say, is our primary focus. So dermatologists mainly deal with diagnosing and treating malwetse a letlalo, so diseases and conditions of the skin. Eczema is an example, things like psoriasis, some cancers of the skin as well. Whereas with aesthetics, aesthetics, so it's about physical appearance mostly and making it look good. So I'm talking about textural letlalo or issues di pores tsa go di bona la thata or complexion ya letlalo, pimples, a mild cases of acne, we do deal with them as well. So it's mostly just about ka ditebego hela ka no bua. Emma. Tota there's an overlap with some of the procedures that we do, but I would say as well, for me, when I see clients ba ileng gore ba na le mathata a letlalo, ha ke kgona go bona gore ha mme ke motho o tlhokang further investigation or o tlhoka treatment e rileng, I often will refer to a dermatologist because ya bo imphetile kgang ya teng. And so I'll give an example ya gore go na le malwetse a mangwe ba bitsa autoimmune diseases. Di kgona gore la ntlha symptom a ntlha o e bonang ke mo letlalong gongwe o tswa a rash, a certain kind of rash. And so if I identify someone like that, I will immediately say, no, let me refer a bonwe ke a dermatologist gore ba mo tlhatlhobe ba bone sente gore rash e ka tswa e dirwa ke eng. Mme ha ile gore bolwetse jo ha boyo ke gona ka boelang go go nna yaanong re o kenya nka go thusa yaanong re itse gore ha gona bolwetse jo bongwe jo bo motshwenyang. Emma.
Yana e ya be le gone go leka go hema tsono ya gore bo itlhala ile gore o leka go baakanya sengwe kante ntswa wa go dira gore go nne le se sengwe se se sa ileng gore sa go diragala.
Kana re mo diela nako ya gore be re kgona go treata selo se leng gore sa motshwenya o se se mo direlang mathata.
Okay. And then what I want now to understand ke gone gore the service tse leng gore la di provider now as aesthetic doctors gore sentente ke eng motho o ka itse jang gore o ta ba tlhoka thuso e a lebile se le se dirang.
Okay, so we have a number of services that we offer. We deal mostly ka letlalo. So we do procedures like chemical peels and microneedling. In those procedures, rabore tshasa a solution on the skin. It's long go thusa ka so sitsitseng. Ya ka ne ke bua motho gona gore hey, skin sa mo ka re se rafunyana kana se dalenyana kana se mahura thata kana se dry thata. So we consult first and then I can advise which one is better for you. We do things like, or I do things like Botox or and dermal filler. So tseo ke tsone tse di thusang yalo with aging. Batho ba bantsi ba tebe ba re go na le ha ke ke sosobanya phatla ke bona di line tse dintsintsi ha ke re ana di dintsintsi and di ra hore batho ba ithare ke motona older than I am, Wawan.
Yeah.
So things like Botox and filler are very, very nice to help with those wrinkles. They also help in areas where there's loss of volume. So sometimes as we age, that your cheeks can deflate or lines on the face show tat. So we just fill them a bit to restore you back to what you looked like before, or to define things like the cheekbone, or to tighten the jawline, you know, things like that that will just enhance your looks. We also offer a procedure called PRP. Well, platelet-rich plasma. It's a facial that we do using PRP, where we infuse it into your skin and it rejuvenates. So fine lines and wrinkles around the eyes, even just improving texture, giving you that glow. And that same PRP, we use it to restore lemuriri. So if you have issues with your hairline or even patches mo togo. Of course, with that, we also have to investigate gore go irwa keng. But once we know, then we're able to assist gore moriri o gole gape. We also offer medical grade facials. We have medical grade skincare products. So motho ha sena go dira treatment yalo ke khona gore okay o bo dirisa facial wash ye o dirisa moisturizer o sunscreen ke ye o simolle go e dirisa hela yalo. So it's a holistic approach hela to say this is what you're going to be coming for treatment, and then this is what you'll use at home.
Okay.
Yes.
Mme anong ha le ira jalo, who's your target market? Le itebagantse go bereka le batho ba dingwaga tse di kae, you know, go ke thuso le gore e itebagantse le bongwe kana bong bothehela gona hela thuso nna le di ha bomang thata.
Tota mongwe le mongwe wants to look good, wa bona. So ha gona yo nka mo exclude ke re ga ke ba data gore bona, wa bona. Our target market and most of the clients that I see are females aged between as early as 20 to 65.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's quite a wide range, but most of them fall within the 25 to 45 category. Because basadi ke rona ba ratang to seek these kinds of treatment. But more and more since I've started, I'm seeing male clients, le bana ba batla go nna, you know, they want to look good. And so my target market is anybody who really is seeking to enhance their physical appearance.
Mme go ete go nne le mo e leng gore ha motho a tsile kgotsa ke le boitshepane ke re ke le ka go bakanya bele re nya mme kana o siame kana there is always something to fix.
I wouldn't say fix, but there's always something we can offer you that's just going to take it a notch higher. Of course, if you come and you say, we can suggest maybe lifestyle changes or for example, skincare routine. Some people naturally have really good skin, and what they tell about soap so we can educate you on how to keep your skin healthy, on using things like sunscreen, on your diet, on drinking more water. Could just advise you on how to take it a little bit further in terms of your self-care, because it can be natural for some time, but as we age, things catch up with us. So as a young person, you'd say, hey, but as we start to age, it's like, hey, this is appearing. I will give an example, sunscreen and pigmentation. A lot of black people, we think that sunscreen, and we neglect to use it for most of our lives. And then I find clients in the early 40s or towards the 50s, it started yesterday. Because it's not something that started 2 weeks ago. Your skin has been damaged by the sun over quite a period of time, and it's now showing on the skin. Not to say it's the only thing that can lead to pigmentation, but if I advise you in your 20s, start using sunscreen religiously, your 40-year-old self will say, oh, thank you for doing that. At this stage. You understand?
Ya no ne re bua jalo ka yone lifestyle. Ke batla gona go tlhaloganya gore ha re lebile ke dihidio tse le gore ngwe di ka ama gone ka letala la rona le hetsa le nna ka teng o buile ka gone go tlhoka go dirisa bo sunscreen yana ke batla re bue gongwe ka tsone dijo you know tse e leng gore gongwe ra dija le ka ha e leng gore gongwe hela re itlhokomela ka teng kgotsa ga re itlhokomele ka teng gongwe le makoa hela e leng gore gongwe a ka tswa le teng hela a ka dirang gore e be go nna le one matshwenyego ga go ta mo letalong.
So a diet also sejang is very, very important. In this day and age, tota, especially mo Gaborone, fast food is everywhere. Tota, if go sa bewa ko lapeng, go iwa KFC, go iwa kae, you know. So eating junk food or a lot of processed food, your fizzy drinks, all of those can lead to inflammation, and it can ultimately show up on the skin. Go tswa hela gore letlalo la gago le gore, for example, motho a na le acne prone skin e kgona go ira worse. So what you eat can make your acne worse. Sometimes prolonged inflammation can lead to pigmentation. Jalo jalo. So your diet, your stress levels, so sometimes your skin responds to your environment. You're not getting enough sleep. On your case, you know, it can show up on your skin. Drinking water, especially in our climate, and dry. So you need to hydrate in so your moisturizer, but you also need to drink a lot of water. So yes, why affect the tata moletalo gore o jaeng o ithokomela jang emma
le go itshilla mmele le gone ke tsa gore go botlhokwa
absolutely
se botlhokwa ke gone gore le ha o batla gore letalo la gago le lebega ka tsela e rileng mmele wa gago lone should carry the same energy
exactly
o batla gore e reflect that glow lone image ke energy e leng gore e tsamaelana le ka ga o dumelang gore o lebega ka teng.
Absolutely. Go tell things like smoking, avoiding it, le go nwa bojalwa o go kotse, drink moderately. Those things affect your skin.
Okay nyame e ke a go utwa yaanong ke batla gone gore tlhaloganya gore ga ke tsa gore ga o ta yaanong o dumela gore gona le so ka se dirang ha ile gore client e le go go yana go na le ka ha ile gore di sekatsheko tse ile gore wa di dira a ke re gore o itse gore mme o ka kgona go mo which kind of treatment ke batla go itse gore how do you do this skin analysis le gone gore motswana a ka ela eng thoko gore a bone gore mitro ya dirwa mo go ene.
So firstly, when you come in Mediglow, you will expect good service, a welcoming atmosphere, really to create a space where you are free to talk. Sometimes I try. So we'll just be having a conversation and that way I'm able to assist you as best as I can after getting all that information. So on your skin, it helps how to see your products or because sometimes I'm not familiar with other times you know, so you can bring whatever you're using to give me an idea. Then we're going to talk about lifestyle, your habits, because it will be counterproductive for me to try and treat something because I do when I are doing the opposite. So it's good to advise really okay, are you using your sunscreen, are you moisturizing, are you following your routine? Then I need to know BP, what medications are you taking for that? Or are you taking any supplements? These days there's a lot on the market, so people will try this, will try that. I need to know about that. Le your previous history, if you have any allergies and so forth, and if you've ever done our kinds of treatment before. Some people go to South Africa, they do their Botox there, they do their fillers there. So it just gives me an idea how much you know about different treatments and you know how much you're willing to do. Then from there, that's when I start recommending a treatment for you or a product for you.
Okay. Me yana ga nke go iragala gone gore gongwe motho a ba ka loba, especially motho ga ile gore gongwe na le chronic disease and all that. Ga go nke go iragala, how open are your clients? Gore ke ra gore ga gongwe motho o kgona gore a tsebe go bua a kanya gore yaanong I'm disclosing something se le gore ga ke re di go bua ka sone, but a sa lemoge gore the importance ya gore o bo o itse.
So that hardly happens, but it can happen. Like I said, really create that environment where you feel comfortable to talk to me about whatever the issue is. And also just being a medical doctor, there is that doctor-patient confidentiality. So I make sure that my client understands that everything that we discuss in that room stays between us in that room, just so that they feel comfortable enough for and that also brings me to a lot of things, the appearance, they affect our mental health. So I find even having someone open up to me, I can pick up other things like, okay, this person seems a little bit depressed or down. I understand this, but they've just gone through a divorce, or they're going through something at work with a co-worker or their boss or something. So there's always some underlying issues that we can also chat about. I can even refer to a psychologist or have them go see somebody before we start such treatments. Because if that continues in their life, it's not going to really deal with sesimotshwenya. Yes.
Gore ke ha wa bo o tlhokometse mo go ga udimo, but se le modi wa kgang sentse se setse hela jalo. Okay. Me anong ke batla gore ke tlhaloganya gore gantsi ga go tama dikgang tsa ditebego, with some people itlhalela gore la ha a bone treatment for nakonyana eo wa go tlhalela gore gongwe ha nako ntse e tsweletse o semolla go batla go dira mo gongwe gape a tswelela ire mo gongwe gape a kere jaanong le thusa yang gore client e kgone go tlhaloganya gore go na le ha ile gore o ema teng ha jaanong o toga o senya kana jang le gone go mo thusa gore a kgone gore a ikamogele ka hantseng ka teng.
So with the initial consultation, or how ta go nna for the first time, go botlhokwa gore re discuss re define our goals gore re leka go tsena ga kae. And so once we do that, we'll have our before picture, we'll do our treatments, and we'll get to a certain point but see gore ne go ntse jana yaanong wa here. It is an addictive thing. Everybody wants to look good and keep looking good. As people will say, So once it's like, let's do more. So it's important for me as a practitioner, pamper the brakes, okay, you look great. Now let's talk about why you think we need to do more. Let's see if we can strike a balance, because oftentimes once we reach our goal, it's just about maintaining that. So then we create a plan on how you can maintain those results.
Okay. And then if you've given a motto a treatment plan, because I believe there's a stage where you'll be working directly with the market, and then there's how they need to continue taking care of themselves and their skin at home. How does it go? Do you have people now falling off, or people maintain the plan?
Oftentimes they do follow through all the way to the end. In terms of maintenance, that's where we have to follow up and keep checking in on you. How are you doing? Are you happy with this? Would you like to come in for something else? Because unfortunately, I wish we could do something once off, you're perfect for the rest of your life. But when it comes to self-care, even exercising or eating right, you don't say, now I have vitamin C more milling for the rest of my life. We maintain by keeping exercise. We have our routine, it's 2 to 3 times a week. We eat a certain diet, and it's important to maintain that. So even in terms of skincare, dynamic, and when different factors start affecting you, we reach that result, and then 2-3 months later, something happens in your life that triggers a problem. So we come back and say, okay, we acknowledge that this has happened. How can we go forward? So it's not something that's a once-off to say, okay, thank you, Rehedi. It's a relationship that we keep. and we keep maintaining. I suggest treatments for you once in a while, products, hela jalo, remind you to use your sunscreen, and we keep going hela jalo.
Me anong how do we make it affordable? Me mongwe le mongwe o ka khona a sa ra ha simolotse go gongwe ha le anong a ba babelwa ke pata e le gore ga khona gore a hetse a treatment program.
Yes, so that's a challenge that some of my clients face. We really do try to meet each other halfway. When suggesting a treatment plan, I go all in. So I will suggest everything that I think that you should do, but you can say, Doc, let's trim it down a bit. On my end. Then we see what we can do. We keep the most important things that I think are still going to be effective, but will not be so hard, more bad day. Other times it's very difficult, and I can suggest here and there what can be done hella kola paying. But ultimately it is something that is difficult to do without if you are not going to use what I have, then it's difficult to assist.
Me gona go ira ga le gona gore ga ile gore motho ha khone o bole ma ga gore ga nka ke khona go thusa motho because ngwe ga ana lone le tseno le leng gore le ka khona go mo tshegetsa go itlhela re hetsa se se batang go se simolla le ena kere a me jano go a khona ga gore go ngwe hela go tseng boteng ba pelo ya ga go be le gore o recommenda se le gore a ka se dirisa se la affordable a ka se bona go pehela.
Absolutely. No, I recommend things from the stores. So ka di rekang hela every day ko di shopong, especially for things like sunscreen. I really believe everybody should be using sunscreen, and so there are different brands that I can recommend to Senya. Shopong halo reke this one. There's some solutions that I do provide outside of the clinic.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not always about money.
No.
Okay. Ke ne ke batla gore re bele sente gone go botlhokwa. Motsana wetso re ntse re ha re tsamagela ra go kgasetswe ha re boa re tla re tsela ka puisano ya rona o ska suta.
The good thing about Pula Power is that we travel all around Botswana to capture the beauty.
Pula Power is the pioneer when it comes to edutainment in Botswana.
This is Pula Power.
The amount of support and the love that Pula Power has given, not just only me, but the whole industry.
Pula Power has made what I am today.
My name is Hansi from Botswana, and we're out here in Zimbabwe. Victoria Falls!
So do you guys know any artists from Botswana? Hansi.
Sliza.
Big shout out to Chamagal.
You're my favorite TV. Pula Power.
This is the passport of entertainment. Pula Power.
How we see Mudimo, Relemoha Mudimo, Elena Mudiru and Ilotsu.
Yeah.
Ibile Haper Lemoha Mudimo, Elena Raro.
Lele Sedi, Lele Tsoi. Yeah. Laha Kraste, Molefatsi.
Motilaganya lense, Yeke Nankiba Horena Le Mata, in no file, Eritz Amachalo Cano for Yamu. Dango, I.
As the world grows bigger, so does its communication needs.
Introduction of AD as a home internet product, first home internet product for Botswana. That was a major milestone.
That we have done very well as a country in terms of deploying infrastructure and making that services reach all corners of Botswana.
The good thing about Pula Power is that we travel all around Botswana to capture the beauty.
Pula Power is the pioneer when it comes to edutainment in Botswana.
This is Pula Power.
The amount of support and the love that Pula Power has given, not just only me, but the whole industry.
Pula Power has made what I am today.
My name is Hansi from Botswana, and we're out here in Zimbabwe. Victoria Falls!
So do you guys know any artists from Botswana? Hansi.
Slicer.
Big shout out to Chamagal.
My favorite BTV.
This is the passport of entertainment. Pula Power.
Matsanabetso mma ke go amogela gape mo lenanong la rona re tsweletse hela jalo ke nagana le Dr. Somalekai wa ene gore re bua hela jana ka yone aesthetic medicine mme bile ra le ba go bontse o bile go tswelisa puisanyo e le rona ngaka emma ke itemetse gore ga ra go ikhutse ha lona wa bua jalo gore nya ga se gore kganke madihela mme jano ga o ka ela thoko ga go ta dikgantse tsa tsone tsa go intahatsa go baakanya letalo le ditebego hela jalo ga se dilo tse ileng gore re toetse gore re ka di dira di tlwaelesegile go bua boammaaruri mme bangwe halele ba di dira a kere yaanong go na le ke batla gore thusa re tlhaloganye ka gore go na le gone mo ileng gore gantsi tlhatlhantse re bone bo di-botox bo eng go na le gone go tsaya mekento ya gone go ntsha mahura mo mmeleng ke batla gore o re tlhalosetse le gone re tlhaloganye gore a mme are they safe to do ga ile gore diphatsa di teng e ka nna eng
yes, so we offer Botox, dermal filler, and what you just mentioned, lipolytic injections. So the procedures that we do aren't without their side effects or risks, which we explain to clients. So the important thing is about getting such a treatment from a licensed provider. You need to make sure you know that the person that is doing it for you has been trained well in what they're doing, so that they can see if when now you're a suitable candidate for it, and they can also explain to you how did I say you might have a bit of swelling for a few days, you might notice certain changes more milling. So they are safe in the right hands with doing them on the right type of client.
Okay. So go khona gona le tsone di side effects ke tsa gore o bile ngwa tsone a mme di khona go tsa phekelo e sele mo ile gore go ngwa yanong di a go ira gore go nne le go senyega le talo mo go heteletseng kana jang.
That's why I emphasize the importance of your provider. Certain treatments, even something as simple as a chemical peel. For example, the skin barrier. If their skin barrier is not intact, doing a chemical peel can lead to further pigmentation, for example, if we're treating pigmentation. So there are treatments still have to be done by trained professionals. Otherwise, so that's why we emphasize that.
Okay. Me yana ha ke lebile tsone di service tsa no tala mo ga gore ke tse ileng gore ga go dirisiwa loaro go irisiwa gongwe yone mekento hela melemo ka tselentseng jalo ke kopa tlhaloganyo pharologanya ya teng le gone gore safety wise for people which is safer hela jalo.
Well, aesthetic medicine in general is non-surgical, so we don't do any surgical procedures. A lot of people will opt for that to try whatever issue it is first with what we do before going under for a surgical procedure. And so even with surgical procedures, there's risks to them, of course, but done by the right professional, they have beautiful results as well. So for most people coming in, if they say, can I considered liposuction, or I considered BBL, which is common these days, or tummy tucks, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with those procedures, but I offer a solution before you can go the surgical route, and will suggest for some people maybe you should consult a plastic surgeon, because expectation e kgona go nna so big for a small procedure. So then motho te ba a tenega re ga go ata the way they wanted, but it's non-surgical, so it's not going to have a dramatic effect like go ntshiwa mahura otlhe be go sala go le flat. You understand what I mean? So there's that as well.
Okay.
Emma.
Me anong le rang gone go rutuntsha batswana gore ba kgone go tlhaloganya ka this kind of service maybe le ba kgone gore ba idirise?
We try our best to have information out there on social media, and then obviously some of it can't be shared like that. You need to come in for a consultation. For example, re dira tsone lipolytic injections, which are fat dissolving injections. Everybody wants to do them because tummies, you know, these days, everybody wants to be snatched. And so when you come in, ra go tlhalosetsa pele gore di dira jang le gore how di dira go batla to exercise o itshidila mmele go batla o ja sente go batla lifestyle e tsamaelana o ka squata gore re go kente wena ko lapeng o bo dira mo go opposite ha go tsamaelana. So ke khona go bona ha ke bua le motho, sometimes I'll advise you gore commit first to a gym schedule, or gore you are going to be skipping rope kana wa walk ko lapeng. Tell me first gore wa go dira jang gore o bone good results, and then that's when we go ahead, so that we get good results from the procedure.
Okay. Yani ke dimela gone gore ga batho ba ntse ba rutuntsha ya le go nna botoka gore ba kgone go tlhaloganya gore dithuso tsa ba ka di bona mo go lona ke eng. A kere ke eng gape se e leng gore gongwe la se dira se e leng gore gongwe ga re a bua ka sone kana batho ba ka tswa ba tsaya gore ke dithuso tse e leng gore ga ba ka ke ba di bona malahatsheng la rona mme di le teng.
Okay, so in addition to the chemical peels, microneedling, platelet-rich plasma, dermal filler, Botox, we do lipolytic injections. We do something called ultrasound cavitation. It's a myelana tatale, the lipolytic injections. It's a machine that we use, uses ultrasound waves on the area where we want to break down the fat to also assist with further breaking down the fat. So those are some of the weight loss treatments that we offer. We also have vitamin drips on offer as well, which is IV vitamins. And then we also have a few supplements as well that we have available at the clinic.
So motho kana go tsamaya hela go ngana le certain condition e le gore and what they need is supplements,
yes,
or any other thing hela.
Yes, so the concept of IV vitamins or just taking supplements, sometimes people who are just tired or burnt out, sometimes your diet doesn't supply you with enough because of today's fast pace or certain conditions. I have clients who have ulcer, so they are not able to take some citrus because they become a bit uncomfortable, so they prefer to take vitamins IV, and they've seen some improvement. But it's not a treatment for a disease. That's what we have to make clear, because if you're exhibiting serious symptoms, then we can do screening, we check your blood sugar, your blood pressure, and refer you to the appropriate place, because it's not a miracle thing, it's just the supplement. So hase mongwe le mongwe yo ka di tsayang. Emma.
Okay.
Yes.
Me jalo ke se leng gore se tlaile se gile se leng gore gantsi you know batho ga ba ta go go yena be ba tshwenyega ka sone kana ba batla thuso mo go sone.
For letlalo, it's oftentimes the pimple, so acne, pigmentation as well. Post-pregnancy, for example, some people develop pigmentation. But sometimes it is harsh products on the skin. Some people just want to look better. The other day, and I met a lady and Buitsore skin is a missy darling. Give us se glow away for Mutala Mpona bar. Hey, wow, Udirang, hey, Unsamonte became and she says, Ubata Hobara, and I be like about Gahobara, no mates. So the thing about aesthetics, it's subtle changes that someone can pinpoint. Me and I itse hela gore wena o ntse mo nte. That's the whole point of it.
Interesting.
Yes.
So hela gone mme hela o ithala gore mme gone go nna ntse o nwa metsi boreng go kgone go tisa pharologanyo hela e makatsang. E be le gore motho a setsa emetse gore a nne le letsonanyana be le gona ka le ka mo gongwe mo go botoka.
Yes.
So ga go a tshwana gore e be re ithokomolosa tsone tse dingwe tse. Mme jaanong ke batla gore ke tlhaloganya hana gore gantsi dikgwetlho tse e leng gore yaanong di nna teng gongwe le kgona go di experience ha e le gore ne le hile mongwe a certain treatment in nine a motho ga nke a boe gongwe a na thusiwa ka tsela nngwe be le gore jaanong go tsaya phekelo e sele.
Yes, absolutely. So with any organization, whether it's a clinic or something, there will be times when there's someone who's upset or not satisfied with a treatment or how we've done things. So we try our best to really treat them with respect and help them see that we understand the issue that they are explaining, and we try our best to meet them halfway in terms of what they were expecting, what they got, and how they expect us to improve in the future. So those are some of the challenges we face. Tota operating locally in something like aesthetics as well, ke sengwe se eleng gore thata go dirwa ko Africa Borwa. So bringing those services here is also a bit of a challenge as a doctor, because our products so we have to try and get them here in a timely manner.
Me ana ga nkile le nna le tsone dikgwetho tsone tseo tsa gore gongwe le bata sengwe ga seyo le ema nakonyana e rileng clients le tsone di eme.
So that's an issue that we have sometimes, where someone is calling every day, came it's a face wash, came it's this. We really try our best, and we've been operating for 2 years. So it's been going well, and the number of clients we have is increasing, so le rona re leka to keep up with that in terms of how much we get that side. But Botswana are very understanding people, how bua le bone sente gape ba bona gore ke a clinic or business ye dirwang ke monana ba rata ba rotwetsa, sometimes ba nkgakolla ba re dirajana. So it's a nice community or a family of the clients that we have. So those are some of the ways we deal with those issues. Then how ka kwana too upset, as opposed to update the sepe, and then ultimately they don't care about me.
Okay. Me anong this treatment me gantsi ena ya nakwana kana it's a long term one. What's usually the case?
So the initial phase if we're treating something se eleng gore se tlhoka multiple treatments, which is often the case, the initial phase it's quite you come quite often, and then in the long term we talk about maintenance and keeping your skin healthy. So by that time we'll have taught you different practices on how to do that. For example, motho tshwengwang acne mo letalong ha itshasitse makeup they have to wash well. They wash it, cleanse it all off nicely. For example, you need to wash your pillowcases often. You need to learn how to exfoliate your skin, scrubbing it, not scrubbing it, but scrubbing is one of the ways, but doing things like facials and chemical peels at the clinic. We equip you le how sata o kgona go tlhokomela skin jang le gore ha o reka a product ya letalo, what are you looking for in the ingredients that you know this is good for me or this is going to be effective for me. So in the long term, whether you come or not, you still have that education ya gore we tlhokomela jang. So in that way it is long term.
Okay. So it's long term.
Yes.
Of treatment, the results that come after the treatment.
Yes.
Okay. So ga se mo eleng gore o ta no ntse o boa o ntse re ha ile gore no ba ka nyala talo tshongwa ile le ntshonyana kana le rileng o nna ntse o boa re go a boa. It's it depends.
It depends. So for example, acne. Okay, so for example, halaka ki buile ya ka acne. Ke a condition e leng gore ga unless you have to take care of your skin a certain way, but it can be triggered back. So that's why it's hard to say you've done this once and that's it. That's why le vitamins or supplements or taking care of your body. You can't say ki le gymming today. My body is perfect. I don't need to go back. We can reach our body goals, and then maybe you have a pregnancy, post-pregnancy, you are back to the weight. Sometimes just life circumstances, if there's a funeral, o lebetse completely skincare routine, o lebetse gore o jayang. On the other side of that, all the results may have, gone back. You get what I mean? So go dynamic, we can just say, okay, re heditse lo yana go hedile emma.
Okay. Aruwe cultural shock. Go na le gone gore bo itlhela le gore re Batswana. Re na le ka ha re dirang dilo ka teng, ka ha re dumelang gore gongwe ke le mme ke sentse ke lebege ka teng. I get. And then go na le Dr. Somela ka yore mme kana re gona gore re buiseno ka nyane re ne re ntse re ntsha mahuranyana le re reng. Response hela ga re lebile Batswana hela in general. Yone intse junk to this kind of treatment.
The response has been good. There's a few people who were already seeking such treatments go Africa Bora. Hey, you are now here because every 2 months South Africa to do this and that. So there's those, and then there's those who we have to educate about the services that we have. Initially, a bit of what if this happens or that happens? So we try our best to explain and accommodate, and if you're not ready for it, then don't do it. You get what I'm saying? But once you are, we do it, and most people are quite happy with it.
People are happy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe ke so se leng gore me ke selo se le gore Motswana mongwe le mongwe kwa lenteng wa se talk.
In this day and age, looking at things like non-communicable diseases, they're on the rise. The whole concept of aesthetic medicine promotes self-care, and self-care comes with certain lifestyle changes. It comes with seeking help or assistance in areas of our lives that we needed. Mental health. It's a whole thing, and coming to see me is a step in that direction. And once you start taking care of yourself, you feel more confident. Your esteem, and if we can encourage you in that way, to eat well, to avoid smoking, to avoid alcohol, to take care of your skin, to exercise, I think ultimately it will lead to a brighter, better Botswana,
Okay.
Yes.
Especially when you started your operation, maybe you had to make a few adjustments, just so that
please repeat the question. Sorry.
When you come up maybe with a program where this is what I do, aesthetic medicine psychic, you'll be able to offer the services to Batswana.
Yeah, so ideally, as an aesthetic doctor, what's out there now, especially in the West and in South Africa, is quite advanced, if I could say that. There's a lot of things on the market now that I could bring, but looking at our society and what's known about aesthetics, you can't start at 100. You have to start where people can meet you and say, okay, no, I understand this, I can do this, I can do this. These days, there's advances in terms of injectables, like we talked about filler and Botox and all. There's now something called biostimulators, which are injected into the skin as well. There are machines that use electric current to contract your muscles, where you're sitting there and it's like exercising. There are different things that are out there now that I would very much be interested to bring eventually, but I had to consider our market. This is a fairly new concept to them, so if I just come with all of those things, so just taking it step by step and introducing it so that people can understand and embrace it.
Okay. And then how accessible is that? I know you said you are taking it step by step. Advance your treatment approach.
Yes.
They are easily accessible even for a person who has similar the treatment with you. Some sort of consistency.
Yes. Eventually. That's the plan. That we don't introduce anything that we can't follow through with, where you receive the treatment today, no, it's no longer available. We try and bring things that are sustainable in the long term for everybody to do.
Because imagine when you start something and then we it's not something maintain constant provision of that thing.
Precisely.
It can actually affect
Okay, so basically it's about making a booking. We do have a line, WhatsApp line. You can call us, you can message us on social media. You make a booking for a consultation. That's where we will discuss your goals, what you want to achieve in terms of coming in. You tell me what the issue is, and then we'll create a plan, and then we follow through with that. Sometimes people already know what they want to do, so they just call and say, okay, book me for Botox. That's what I've been doing it in South Africa or wherever. So it's just about taking the first step to give us a call. I can share our Facebook.
We'll get to that, and then also I wanted to know, because some of the things how we can go about it. I get it. Do you have payment plans services?
At the moment, we don't really have a solid payment plan that I would say. I do individualize depending on what you come and say is the issue and how you would want us to help. But there isn't a general payment plan to say, and then you can pay over time. And genuinely speaking, I don't think aesthetics is something that you should be in debt. So ga ke bate batswana ba tabata skoloto sa 10,000 ko go rona, and then they can't pay. Why kolota batho ba le no ne ke reka dioza, you know what I'm saying? As much as it's important, I do think there's a line to be drawn, and so that's why I'm reluctant to say orekolote, because then someone will go all the way and have a huge debt, and you know, it won't make sense.
Totally. How do you deal with that? Because I think now it becomes a financial issue. You know, medicine there, and know when to and when not to.
Yeah, so oftentimes I would say people do think about and budget before they come. So their usual products or to come for a minor treatment. I do exercise my discretion when it comes for Botox and filler. I can't keep injecting, and there's a time period to say, okay, filler lasts in the system for how long? Some filler can go up to 18 months. So it's not like we'll just keep injecting you just because you asked. That we also have what regulates us to say, okay, this is what we've done for you and we can't go further than this. Even medically, it's not good for you.
Exactly.
So there is a line that we draw. It's not just because everyone wants beridira.
And I believe your counseling process, there is where now they need to know or they can't, do certain things.
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. Yana ke kopa gore re bue hela jalo gone le ka your clinic o no o batlile gone go tshwaela gore le ha kae jang.
Okay, so you be doing Mediglow Aesthetics, re ko village mo Gaborone, ko plot 21179. It's easy to find. Once you've made an appointment, we usually send you directions, or you can call and we'll direct you to us. We are found on social media, Mediglow Aesthetics BW.
Okay.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and on TikTok as well. So you can call us or send a WhatsApp to 7164-2681.
Okay. You can repeat that number?
Number is 7164-2681.
Okay. And then I also wanted to know, you work with other clinics, service providers?
Yes.
Government as well? Or like, do you ever, in terms of referrals and stuff like that?
Yes, so I do have a few doctors that I can call. Just like we mentioned, dermatologists, there's some who I can just consult with and end up referring to, mostly in private. But if somebody would like to go to a public facility, we can make a few calls and see if that can be arranged. Yes.
Okay, so la referral, that's what you're saying.
If you have a referral form from us, it can go to any providers, whether it's private or public. Yes.
Okay. All right. Nyame ke a guta Dr. Somelekai ke tsa gore batsana ba tlhalogantse mme bile ba itse gore dikgantse ke dikgantse le gore di arama ke kopa gore o hela gago la bohelo ya ka ha re ipakanyetsa go tswala.
Nyane ke lebogela gore be le mphile tshona go ta go tlhalosa about aesthetic medicine, and I hope that it will help. In 2024, Batswana will start to take self-care seriously, to be able to exercise, to eat right, and if there's something bothering them in terms of their skin or their bodies, and we're here to help. So we're just a phone call away.
Only a phone call away.
Exactly.
Yes.
Ke
Dr. Somelekai ke tsa ke re o dira tiro ente thata batswana le bana ba tatswela ba ntse ba gola le wena ba tlhaloganya go batang gore re teng re le lahatshe wetso re tsile mo botsibong wa thulaganyo ya rona mo tsatsing la gompieno ra lebogathe go bonontse o na le rona ha o itisitse le rona re bua ka kganye mme re tla gore hela jalo re gore re dikgang tsa tebego le botsogo ruri jwa letalo la gago di botlhokwa hela thata o di tsebogele mme o gakologele wetso re kgathala ka botsogo ba gago go fitlhela re kopana gape mo nakong e tang nna ke Boitshepo Nyathi sala sentle.